Guess what, YouTube? I'm satisfied, YouTube, YouTube. '72 convertible Impala LS3 swap. Looking at maybe almost 600 horsepower. We ain't put it on the dyno yet, YouTube. We did our own wiring. And we show y'all how to do the wiring, YouTube. Step by step. We did our fuel system. We show you how to do the fuel system as well. Step by step, YouTube. Everything you need to know. Now let's swap, baby. Read the temperature of each cylinder. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. Let's go over here to this side over here. Let's see what we're looking like. If you're working on an LS swap, or if you have the desire to do a LS swap, ain't got to be no LS swap. It could be a straight up motor. You still gonna have some type of misfire problems, YouTube. You might file out spark plugs. You might have a bad spark plug wire, a bad coil pack, going out buying all new coils, all new spark plug wires, going through the hassle of changing all your plugs out. I don't want you going out there spending unnecessary money. Today, I'm gonna show you exactly how to troubleshoot, how to pinpoint the exact problem, YouTube. That way you don't have to waste all that money, YouTube. And you'll be able to get your LS swap or whatever it is you working on back up and running as quick as possible, YouTube. All right? So do me a favor. Make sure you watch this whole video, YouTube. Cause I don't want you to miss nothing, YouTube. I don't want you going out there spending unnecessary money and taking a whole lot of unnecessary time to get your project back up and on the road, YouTube, running right. So we're gonna walk this thing over step by step. Let Chevy's R Us help you do your LS swap, YouTube. But what I need for you to do is to make sure you click that subscribe button, YouTube. Make sure you turn on your notification bell. That way you see all our new videos when we post them, YouTube. And I need for you to drop me a comment and say, I'm riding with Chevy's R Us, Tone. Let Chevy's R Us help you do your LS swap, YouTube. We a family, man. We gonna do this thing together. Y'all ready? Let's get it, YouTube. YouTube. This your boy, Tone coming back at y'all one more again, YouTube, with another great video on Chevy's R Us, man. Y'all know what time it is. We out here in the garage and ain't nothing nobody can do about it, YouTube. Y'all know what time it is. Troubleshooting a misfire is extremely important, and you gotta know how to do it, YouTube. You got to. If you don't want to be frustrated with the way your LS swap or the way your small block 350 or whatever it is you working on, if you want it to be right, you know what I'm talking about? All right, YouTube, man, I just want to bring a little issue to y'all, man. I was having some problems with the 72. Let me just explain the symptoms to you real quick. The symptoms is, you know what I'm saying, I can crank it up, I can drive it, it's fine, but after it warms up a little bit, it starts to skip a little bit. And so I'm in the diagnosis trouble. What you call it? I got my neighbor Kenny Ken over here with me. Say what's up, Kenny.
What up? How y'all doing? Good morning.
Hey, that's what's up. But just in diagnosing the problem, you know what I'm saying? First thing first, you check the computer codes. Make sure you ain't getting no code. And so we've already done that. And, you know, recently I tweaked the settings a little bit for the cell pump kind of give it a little more gas on acceleration. And I put those settings back thinking that that might have been the problem. But I want to show y'all what the problem is, YouTube. Let me get the car crunk up, and I'll be right back with y'all in a minute. The car is running now, and what I got here is a digital thermometer. With infrared, I could read the temperature of each cylinder. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. Let's go over here to this side over here. Let's see what we're looking like. Looking at about maybe right at 200. Yeah, maybe right at 200. Right at 200. Yeah, 250. Right at 200. All them over there right at 200. But I'm gonna check this one in the front. That one is at 169. That one is at 195, not quite 200. That one's at 200. That was at 240. So what that tells you is that this one is at only 160, 170. So YouTube, what that tells you is that since all the cylinders is running at right at 200 or better, but I got one this lower is at like 160 degrees, that means this ain't firing hot. That ain't firing like it's supposed to, because it ain't hot as the other cylinder. But check this out, YouTube. Let me show you something. What I suspect the problem is, I got a coolant leak right up in there. And as you can see a little white stuff. It looks like coolant has kind of been splashing out of here on the motor. And so what I suspect is that water coolant has gotten into this front coil right here and causing it not to burn as hot as it should. So my next step would be to probably swap out this coil with a good working one to see if it gets as hot as it's supposed to get, YouTube. So that's where we going. All right, we'll be back with y'all. All right, YouTube. So I went out. I actually had to order a coil pack. Let me show it to y'all real quick. All right, this is the coil pack right here that I ordered. It's actually designed and made the same way that my existing coils are. I'm just gonna lay it right side by side, and as you can see, it's made the same. And I actually went ahead and I swapped out this coil pack right here because I figured that may be the problem. Is this coil pack, little radiator leaking fluid here. As you're driving down the road, as you can see this little white stuff on here, that's antifreeze. And so I figured that this coil pack was bad. And so I went ahead and I swapped the coil pack. I didn't buy all new coils and change them all out. I just ordered one to kind of replace it to see if this was the problem. They actually make coil testers, but you know, I don't have one of them. So I just ordered a new coil. That way, in case I have a bad coil, I can just use the replacement. But whenever I changed that coil out, I didn't see any difference. The engine, it still had its misfire. It was still kind of stumbling a little bit. When you get on the gas, you can feel it. It just ain't right. And you can feel it in the engine, kind of missing a little bit. And then I also took the temperature of that coil pack after I replaced it. And it was somewhat of the same degrees, running between 170 and 200. So it was close enough to 200. So I can assume that that's pretty much normal. All of the other cylinders are reading around 200. or close to it, so that's a good thing. And next, what I'm gonna do is I'm getting ready to, let me show you. Since this is the suspect cylinder that's misfiring, I think this is number 1 plug. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull this plug out and I'm gonna take a look at it. So I'm gonna get me a 5/8 socket and I'm gonna get this first spark plug out, YouTube. So I'll be right back with y'all in a minute. We can look at it together. All right, YouTube, here's the spark plug that we took out. And the tip of it actually is a brown paper bag color, but I can see that black carbon around the inside of the plug. And it actually smells like gas a little bit. So what that is an indication that the vehicle was actually running just a bit rich. And so, meaning it dumping too much gas and not enough fuel. And if you have a rich condition, and if you have a situation where your car is running just a little bit too rich, what that means is you got more gas than you need going to your injectors, because too much gas will cause a rich condition. And that is the result of a rich condition. You'll fire your spark plugs out. You can even burn up a cylinder in certain circumstances. If it's running too rich and it runs like that too long, you can mess up the internal components like the rings and the piston and all that. And we don't want to do that. Not with no LS engine, man. It already costs too much money. And so, you know, this is my main purpose of making these videos, to kind of help the family, man, save money, man, so that you don't have problems, to help you out with your LS swap. So we don't want that. Rich is bad, lean is bad. We want it just right. And so since this first plug that I took out is a little dark and black around the bottom, I need to pull the rest of the plugs and see what the rest of the spark plugs look like. And so that's exactly my next step. I pulled the first plug out. I looked at it and it didn't quite look right. It's dark, it got a lot of carbon, and it smelled like gas a little bit. And that's an indication that it's running too rich. And so I need to pull the other plugs to see what they look like. Just to back up a little bit, we identified the first cylinder, or cylinder number 1, by taking the temperature of all the cylinders. And we did that with a digital thermometer. And let me show you what I take the temperature of. And so pretty much I just took my digital thermometer and kind of aimed it right here where the spark plug number 1 is, right over spark plug 1, boom, just shoot it right there and it'll give you a good temperature indication. You do the same thing with spark plug 2, just shoot it right there. You can hit it right there, boom, and then this last plug, you hit it right there. And that way you can see the temperature of each cylinder. And we identified that this one was the coolest right here. And so we figured that this may be our problem cylinder right here. And we changed the coil pack out with this. That wasn't a problem. And we just pulled the spark plug. So now we're pulling the spark plug. All right, YouTube, let's give y'all an update. I actually pulled the rest of the plugs. That wasn't no fun process, man. It was actually a little difficult. And it makes it only a little difficult because it has the headers in, and I didn't dimple my headers. What that means is put a dent in the headers so it'll be easy to get the spark plugs out. But I had to use a special spark plug wrench. It's called a pass-through socket. Let me show y'all what that looks like. So this is the actual spark plug wrench that I use. It actually fits over the socket. And then you can take a 3/4 wrench and turn this right here. So that's how I had to do it in order to get it to work, YouTube. So within saying that, I went ahead and I swapped out all of my spark plugs. I made sure that they were properly gapped. They're supposed to come from the store properly gapped already, but you always want to double check your gap. Get you a little spark plug gapper and just test it out and see if it has the proper gap. And mine did. And so I also used the anti-seize compound. Put a little bit of that on the threads. That way all that heat don't make it real hard to get your spark plugs out. Let me show you what that is. I used a little anti-seize lubricant. Just take it, this thing has a brush on it, just dab a little bit on the spark plug threads. I know y'all can see just a little bit on there before when I originally placed these plugs in there. So I went ahead and replaced all of them just because they were all, majority of them had carbon, and a few of them, they smelled like gas, so that's not good. And so I went ahead and replaced all 8 spark plugs. For those of y'all that don't know, I'm actually running these right here. V-Power NGK spark plugs. This is the TR6 plug. These are actually pretty good. I got them on Amazon, and you can run them in a LS3, and they work good. So now that we got all the plugs installed, what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna crank this guy up and I'm gonna take it for a test drive, YouTube. And we'll be back in a minute. All right, YouTube. I took the car for a spin, and the problem is not fixed, but it got like maybe 60, 70% better. And that tells me that, yeah, them plugs had something to do with the misfire that I'm experiencing. And, you know, that's a good thing. It's better, but not fixed. So I have to take this troubleshooting. I have to take the next steps and continue to troubleshoot. And so my next troubleshooting steps are we need to test the spark plug wires. Okay, I'm gonna pull one wire off, and me and you are gonna walk. We're gonna test it together, YouTube. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. Even if you never used a multimeter or a spark plug tester, or spark plug wire tester, don't worry about it, YouTube. I'm gonna explain all that to you. We ain't gonna use the wire tester. We actually got an ohm meter, and we're gonna ohm these wires out to see if all of them are similar. And we're gonna look up what the factory specs are supposed to be. Hey, sweetheart. Everybody say hey to my daughter. Say what's up, YouTube. Chevy's R Us.
Hi, YouTube.
All right, so that's what we're gonna do, YouTube. Let me pull the first plug wire off, and I'll be back in a minute, YouTube. All right, YouTube. What you're looking at here, this is a multimeter. This is what we're gonna use to test our wires. This is a cheap little multimeter. I think somebody gave it to me, but it's already set up on the DC voltage. You got a red wire and a black wire, and so actually it's on AC, DC. I could test the voltage in the car by just turning it to DC volts. DC volts. It's on 20, and it'll measure up to 20 DC volts. our automobiles run 12 volt. And so, it's not going to be 2000 millivolts. It's 20. So if we put it on the battery, the red to the red and the black to the black, you should see at least anywhere from 11 to 13 volts. 13 volts while charging. But we're not testing voltage. What we're going to do is we're going to turn this setting over to ohms, and a little horseshoe, this little horseshoe right there indicates ohms. And so we'll just set it to, we'll see if we get a reading at 2000K. Sometimes you can't even get a reading. It'll just say 1, and you have to change the ohms setting, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my first plug wire here, and I'm gonna plug one in one side, and I'm gonna plug the other end in the other side, just like that. And it don't look like I got a reading yet. It still says 1. So I'm gonna turn it. I just switched the setting to 2000, and I got a reading of 254. Between 253 and 254. That is the amount of resistance that this plug wire has. 264 ohms. 250 something ohms of resistance. Let me just do that one more time here. Yeah, as y'all can see, it's 252, between 250 and 255. That is the amount of resistance measured in ohms that this wire has. Now, just to kind of explain to you a little bit, resistance. If you don't know what resistance is, you just imagine a water hose squirting out water. And you just take that water hose and you squeeze it. You take a pair of pliers and squeeze the water hose. Or you can even take it and bend it. You adding resistance to that water. So you adding resistance to that water, you adding resistance to the water hose. And that's going to prevent water from going out the way that it is supposed to, and the way that it is designed, and what it is designed to do. And it kind of works the same way with wires. The more resistance you have in that wire, the less electricity is going to be able to come out the other end. And so if you got too much resistance, not enough electricity coming out your plug wire, you're going to have a misfire, YouTube. And as you all know, these LS swaps, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a set of headers. And headers, they generate more heat than regular manifolds. And so what usually happens is that heat, it'll start beating up on them plug wires, and it'll burn out your plug wires. If it's not properly insulated, if it just have too much heat. And so now what I'm going to do is I got a base reading of my first wire, and I'm going to write that down. And so I'm just going to go around and I'm going to test all 8 wires to make sure that we got a resistance that is similar. And then I'm going to look up and see what the resistance is supposed to be. So I'm going to do that, and I'll get right back with y'all in a minute, YouTube. All right? Be back in a minute. Matter of fact, y'all say what's up to my neighbor right there. Say what's up, Jared. Say what's up, YouTube.
What's up?
Say what's up, Chevy's R Us.
What's up, Chevy's R Us?
Hey, y'all heard him, man. That's my neighbor. So we'll be back in a minute, YouTube. All right, YouTube. Pretty much tested all of the spark plug wires. And when I took this one off, I noticed this. And that's thin out, so it looks like it kind of got burnt. Don't look like it's burnt all the way through. But I also discovered one of the plugs was loose. And so I tightened it all the way up and put a little extra torque on it. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and replace this wire and put the other ones back on and see if it runs right. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut this off so I can take this fiberglass sleeve and put it on a new wire. Be back in a minute. All right, YouTube. Man, I was testing. I got the wires tested, and we got the car running, and it runs really good. Let me let y'all see, YouTube. Check it out, YouTube. Good, YouTube. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, baby. I need that footage. Guess what, YouTube? I'm satisfied, YouTube. So, let me cut the car off, and I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what the problem was. So while I was testing the spark plug wires, making sure they got similar resistance, not too high from the specified resistance that it's supposed to have in the wire, I compared it to a brand new wire of the same brand and same type, because I bought a new set of wires, but I didn't use them. So what I did is I measured the resistance in a new wire, and I compared it to the wires on my car, and they were very, very close. The wires on my car had between 255 and 260 ohms of resistance in each wire, and the new ones only had about maybe 240, 239 ohms of resistance in the wire, so that's not big of a difference at all. So what actually happened to be the problem is one of these spark plugs. One of my spark plugs was loose. And so that explains why whenever I change my plugs out, the problem got about 80% better. I'm hollering at my neighbor. What's up, man? Yes, sir. Say what's up to Chevys R Us. Yes, sir. Hey, man, that's my neighbor over there. Shout out to my neighbor, man. Hey, I know he gonna see this video, but anyway, I tightened the spark plug up, and I double checked all the wires and made sure they was on tight. And after I did that, I crunk it up. It sounded really good. I put it in drive. It did not miss. It did not skip. And so we just came back from a test drive, man, and it's back in the game, y'all. It's back in the game. And so, hey, problem fixed, man. Problem solved. And so this process, man, that we cover in this video is very important, man. And you got to take it step by step. That way you can isolate the problem. That's going to be all for today, but do me a favor, man. If you like this video, be sure to click on that link in the top right corner and check out some of our other LS swap tips and tricks, secrets, things that are going to make your LS swap easier. We got a lot of information in those videos that'll help save you time. It'll help save you a lot of money. Keep you from spending unnecessary money. These LS swaps already cost enough. We don't want to spend out, no more than we have to, YouTube. But I appreciate y'all for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. Turn on your notification bell, That way you see all our other videos when we post them, YouTube. And I need for you to drop me a comment and say, I'm riding with Chevy's R Us, Tone. All right? We'll see y'all next time. You too, you too.